All right. Hey, patrons,
Fucking
entirely
round
different day.
four. Whew.
It's
Okay.
not the
Oh,
same
thank
day.
you. Do you love having fingers? Okay. Um, I do love having fingers. It's great.
Fingers rule.
I kind of wish I had wings though. And
Wings would
fingers.
be
Like I don't want
cool.
to give up my arms.
So you want to be a Angel from X-Men?
Yeah. I'm an angel from X-Men.
Pete
That guy was
Pete Holmes
really
does a really
hot
great
too, so
sketch. Yeah. But Pete Holmes does a really good sketch where he's like, "What's your power? Are you just a bird? Bird?" And like he's trying to talk, he's just going bird. And he's like basically it's Professor X firing all the X-Men because their powers are useless. It's pretty great. He's
nice.
interviewing Wolverine, and Wolverine goes, he's like, "What is your power?" And Wolverine goes, "I can smell really far." He's like, "You can smell really far." He's like, let's say Magneto is on the other side of a bridge, and you are going to try to kill Magneto. What are you going to do? And he goes, "I'm gonna run at him." He's like, "Your bones are metal. I'm gonna run really fast. I'll ride my motorcycle." And he's like, "What do you think a motorcycle is made of?" And he goes, "Tubes and glass." It's like, "You're fucking fired. Get out of here, Wolverine."
Hmm.
It's pretty
All
great. It's a pretty
right.
funny sketch.
That is
All
funny.
right, we're going to talk about insanity today, but the definition of insanity and what is also not the definition of insanity so that you all can be here for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Most importantly, we're not talking about the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually put the actual definition of insanity. I think
If
I
there
did.
is, if there even is one.
Right.
I think this is the most episodes we've recorded in a single day.
Yeah, we're setting records right now. My phone is about to die. It is my camera, but it should be okay for this.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll get there.
yeah. All right. Let me start writing this down somewhere actually.
What happened?
Um, okay. So I started writing it down somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Okay. I'm not citing anything here. I'm just speaking off the cuff.
Yeah, no
The
worries.
definition of sanity is like circular. Um,
Yeah, of course it is.
yeah. It's like very stupid, unreasonable, or dangerous action in a situation. The condition of being insane, derangement of the mind, uh,
Oh,
mental
good. Okay.
illness or madness. Yeah, like
So basically, not helpful in the slightest.
not helpful. So that's why I spoke off the cuff a little bit. To is like here's I think a reasonable approximation of this for the purposes of what we're up to today.
Okay, that works.
All right, ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay. Three, two, one, go. Welcome to Why We Do What We Do Mini. I am your host, Abraham.
And I'm Shane.
We are a psychology podcast, and on these Mondays, we release these short form episodes that are a quick dive into a topic that we unpack, and then we end it, and then we're just done for that topic.
Yes. Yeah, that is. It is an amuse bouche, if you will.
There you go.
I think
And
no,
then we
an hors
release
d'oeuvre. I don't know
hors
what an
d'oeuvre.
amuse
Yeah,
bouche
that's
is.
right.
Yeah, don't ask me what an amuse bouche is.
Yeah, hors d'oeuvre definitely makes a bit more sense. We release our full length episodes on Wednesdays, and Today we're tackling a topic that is near and dear to my heart because it's one of those things that's like it's like the cut on the roof of your mouth that won't go away, or the like food that's stuck in your teeth and you can't quite get it out of there, and it's so annoying and so frustrating. And so today I'm going to try and pull this piece of food out of my teeth and throw it in the garbage and never think about it ever again, hopefully. But I won't be able to avoid it because it's practically unavoidable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So today we are unpacking the what is not the definition of insanity, because we've heard the phrase, we've heard the saying so many times, and we are just going to go back and say, you know what? I don't think so.
Yes. Okay. So, what you've heard people say, and they sometimes even couch it more firmly in the I believe that, or I firmly believe that, or some asinine thing like that. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Or the definition of insanity is accepting that definition as the definition of insanity. Um, this is
Yeah.
wrong in two important and contradictory ways that we're going to go ahead and get to now.
Yes. So let's go ahead and do a real quick dive into the history of this ridiculous turd of an idea. So this quote is attributed to Albert Einstein, except he didn't say it because he was a very smart person and not a very stupid person.
Yes. Actually, the reality is that this quote can be traced back to a novelist, an author, in a mystery novel by author Rita Mae Brown, and she wrote that definition in her 1983 book Sudden Death. In the book, a fictional character named Jane Fulton says, "quote Unfortunately, Susan didn't remember what Jane Fulton once said." Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. End quote. So this is a fictional quote from a fictional person in a fiction book.
Yes. So that's where it came from. It is not something that is attributed to the man that was one of the architects of the Manhattan Projects and discovered the theory of relativity, or in all those things, right? Like he would never say something this ridiculous.
All right. So let's go ahead and dismantle this in two different ways. One is by proving that this definition is stupid and wrong, and then by giving you the actual definition. And let's start with the first part, which is showing you why this definition is stupid and wrong. First, let's just imagine a scenario where I accidentally drop an egg on the floor. And for some reason, the egg doesn't break. Just for some reason, it doesn't break. Would it then be insane to imagine that now if I drop the egg on the floor, it won't break? If I drop it over and over again, I shouldn't expect it to break because it didn't break that one time.
Right.
No, you fucking goon. That is not how that works. I think if it didn't break the first time, there's no reason to think that it now won't break the second time. There's actually a pretty good reason to think it should have broken the first time, and doing it again means it's likely to break again. And I kind of thought about this. I really enjoyed the Zelda games. And in the more one of the recent ones, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you can like lift up these containers and drop them on the ground. And
Right.
sometimes when you drop them, they don't break. So you've dropped them a couple of times, and eventually they'll break. And so that had me thinking about this exact definition. I'm like, is that insanity? Because I know from experience that doing this thing repeatedly will break it. But even if I hadn't, it's like reasonable to expect that it would break, knowing that that is a mechanism for breaking these things in here. And yet I'm doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results because I'm going to get different results.
Yeah. Another example of this is checking the mail, right? So if I check the mailbox and the mail hasn't arrived, is it then insane to check the mailbox again in a few hours or the next day? No, nobody thinks that, because there are circumstances, and there are variable circumstances that lead you to conclude that there is a reasonable outcome or a reasonable change in the expected outcome of your behavior. Like, you are going to eventually do the same thing and it will produce a different result in that context.
Exactly. The idea that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again drives me insane. It is stupid and it is wrong, and it has been used way too much to try and belittle others or ideas or things that they do. Just so dumb. And like, not only is it like the misattribution thing just annoying, it's not really a problem, like if it were a reasonable aphorism to use or something like that. But it's not, because it's patently, demonstrably wrong in multiple ways. And one of them that I've shown you, and let's take another example of this, is intermittent reinforcement schedules. These are specifically designed to facilitate repeated behaviors without the favorable outcome happening every single time. That is, you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting that at some point there will be a different outcome, which is that reinforcement eventually comes, and it fucking does. It does come.
Right.
That's how intermittent
Right.
schedules work.
Right, exactly. The outcome will change. Now, another way that we're going to dismantle this idea is considering the real and more appropriate, albeit not as catchy, definition of insanity. Insanity is behaving unable to tell the difference between right and wrong and the difference between real and not real.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, and
that's
that's essentially, yeah. It's like when you look up the actual definition of sanity, you'll get a lot of circular definitions. Things like it's the state of being insane or it's mental illness. But I think that the way that we think about it clinically, and this almost isn't very useful, but the way that we tend to think about it clinically is more like the inability to discern what are hallucinations or other mental events that are going on from things that are happening really in the world. It can also include like being so caught up in your own language that you can't tell the difference between the things that you're thinking to yourself and the things that are really happening out in the world. And then there's an aspect of this that's like morally wrapped up in it. Like you can't tell the difference between right and wrong. Like, is this a thing that I should do and that's okay, or I shouldn't do, etc. That also is sometimes built like wrapped into the definition of mental illness.
right, right, absolutely. So, why do people like this? Like, what is it about this thing that people like?
Real quick, I'm gonna do an ad break. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
Justin insert it earlier because we're like almost done with this. So,
yeah. No worries.
Justin, right over until the Zelda story, let's put the ad break there. So, I'll do a quick segue right here. Um, Boop. All right, I'm clearly worked up. Let's take a quick break. Um, the definition of taking an ad break is pausing and taking an ad break.
Yep, love that definition.
Okay, so getting back now to
All
where
right.
we were at. Yes, exactly. You said it very well.
Okay, all right. So the question that keeps coming up though is why do people like this? Why do people like using this phrase? Well, it's kind
Yeah,
of
why do they
quippy
keep
and
turning to it?
yeah, why do they keep using it? It's quippy and a lot of people, I mean, you're going to find that there are a lot of armchair psychologists out there that just like using terms that are catchphrases and mantras and quotes, right? They've internalized
Yeah,
quotes. And this particular quote has a veneer of logic. It has a kind of truthy feel to it. But if someone
yeah.
opens their fridge looking for soda and doesn't find one, and then keeps closing and opening the fridge to see if a soda appears, that would look pretty confounding. But the principle of doing it over and over is not the problem. It's a failure to respond to the contextual features of the situation that's where the problem is, that people do not respond to contextual clues. They don't respond to histories of reinforcement for whatever reason. There's all sorts of things that happen here. It's not just doing the thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, most of the time that this asinine saying is used, as you said, like people like these short, quick phrases that they seem to convey wisdom. They give the appearance of like an argument or a thoughtful thing or whatever. And it's also because it's so quick to like belittle someone else's thing. They're like, "Oh, this like doing this thing is insane because the definition of insanity is doing that thing." They just keep going. They keep returning to that well, and it's one, not true, two, demonstrably false, and three, it's often used in bad faith to make a poor argument. It's stupid. It's wrong. Stop saying it.
All right. I think we have nailed that one.
If you would like to tell me that I'm wrong, good luck. I am very open to changing my mind, but I am so enormously frustrated and over the use of this definition as it has come to be used. It would be you've got an uphill battle for you. Anyway, you can email us directly at info@wwd.podcast.com. Let me do that again. Boop. You can email us at info@wwd.podcast.com or on the social media platforms. If you want to come over there and agree with me, you can do that too. If you'd like to support us, you can join us on Patreon, leave us a rating and review, like and subscribe, and or pick up some merch at our merch store. And I think that is all that I have to say about this. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to my team for all the work that they do. Is there anything that I forgot or that you'd like to add before we wrap this up today, Shane?
Not today. I'm gonna go ahead and sit back and let you have your space.
The definition of insanity is not, it is not doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's not that. So stop saying it. It's not.
Yeah, I think they got that.
Okay, great. Thank you. This is Abraham.
This is Shane.
We're out.
Bye. Oh man, that was so fun.
I was just listening to a podcast episode yesterday where it was actually, I really like, so there's this, I think I've told you about this, is this debate podcast I listen to, and they, so they'll take a topic and they have two people that's like debate format where one person argues one side, the other person argues the other. And it was actually, in this case, it was two Republicans arguing about essentially whether or not raising taxes is a good idea. And like one of them was saying, yes, we think that we should raise taxes in some situations. And the other one was like, definitely not, never, ever, ever do we raise taxes. And they were going back and forth. And I mostly, of course, as a person who's Democrat, agreed with the person who said like there are appropriate times, and a scientist, I think, there are appropriate times to raise taxes. And then
Right.
at the end, though, he said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I'm like, and you lost. You just lost the argument.
That's
you
it.
had it.
You were
You
so
lost
close.
it. Yep. You were clinching the win, and then you went and said that stupid shit.
Yeah, you like the sentiment. I get what the sentiment is, but like you could have done this so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all you really had to say is like, you guys keep trying this thing and it's not working. It's time to try something different. That's fine. That's a very reasonable argument. It doesn't mean they're insane at all.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Oh man.
All right. Anyway,
All right,
thank you for
man.
giving me 5 hours of your time today. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm gonna go grocery shopping
Go
now.
have dinner, man.
Yeah, I haven't even eaten lunch, so I got to figure that out.
Oh my God. It's like 6 o'clock there.
So, yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
All right. Well, thank
So,
you so much. I appreciate
all
you.
right, man. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you. Have fun.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
All right,
Bye.
bye.